Hello and welcome, I'm Wick, and today I will be reviewing the latest set of patch notes for Legends of Runeterra. That is going to be patch 4.10, and that will be coming out and available to play tomorrow, which is going to be October 11th. So make sure to grab that update when it comes through. There's a lot of changes and a lot of buffs and nerfs in this patch, as well as some information or new things coming for Path of Champions. Um, if you want more information or would like to see the developers' insight regarding the patch, feel free to check out their video. They hopped on stream and walked through a lot of these changes. I will include a link to that video below in the description, so feel free to check that out after I run through my patch notes. So let's go ahead, hop into these patch notes. And it looks like they have a few they have this infographic for us, which is really nice. Gives us a little bit of a overview of all the changes that are ahead of us. These don't include the bug fixes, and there are a few notable ones of that, but we will get to that later. So in this patch, they are hoping to shake things up for the standard format. We have the World Qualifier Open coming up soon at the end of October. We also have Always Be Games coming up at the end of October as well. So these updates will be live tomorrow, October 11th, as they mentioned. So let's get into these. So first up, we have the nerfs, and the first nerf that they are going to show us is Balin the Benevolent. It will no longer grant itself plus 1 HP, which I think, we've seen health buffs get really out of control. I think especially with Demacia, back in the day we had Bannerman, right? And Bannerman buffing itself proved to be problematic, and they removed that ability, and I think it's in line with that justification to remove that ability from Balin as well. So, and I think that this card was single-handedly a very uh, demanding card. If you did not respond to the Benevolent, or if you even got one or two attacks off with Balin, it kind of gets out of control, and the formidable units just get really, really big and nearly impossible to deal with. So I think that this is a pretty good nerf. I wouldn't say that formidables right now are very strong, or that they were very, dominating in this meta, but I could see them becoming an issue with the buffs and nerfs that we are seeing later on in this patch. So yeah, I think it's an okay nerf. I don't really love to see when this drops down on the opposite side of the board. Like I mentioned earlier, if you don't address this format a unit like immediately, it kind of snowballs out of control, and it also heals itself and powers itself up. So I think it's already at 4 HP. That's pretty powerful, and I think that this nerf hits it in a way that's not gonna completely kill the card, but it's gonna make it less of a demanding unit and make it easier to remove from the board and make it easier to answer. Next up, we have Epic Scrap Traption. The runaway scrap trap that it generates will no longer have Rash, and I think that this pretty much kills the card. Obviously Piltover kind of overtuned and kind of has been needing a little bit of a hit. Ember Jace, as they mentioned, has been kind of ridiculous and kind of has been very strong for a very long time. But I'm just kind of mad that they nerfed this, because I played this in my Jace the Decimate deck out in Eternal. But I think that it has been a very powerful card for a long time, and I think that Piltover and Dawn definitely needs to get brought down a little bit in terms of raw power. I think that in the last week or so for tournaments, it was the most represented region. So obviously this is mostly only being played in Heimer Jace, I think, competitively. But I think that that deck has been needing to get hit for a while. And I kind of really love this card, and I'm sad that it's gonna get completely gutted. Like it's pretty worthless now. I don't really like. Maybe if they said that the scrap trap would get brash after you played another 6 cost spell or something like that, gave it a little bit of an internal quest to get that brash back. But I think completely removing it, it's just worthless. So I don't know. I really don't like it. And then next we have Hextech Handler going to a 3/3, but its effect is losing the +1 health. I think as we mentioned previously, health is just such a it's like the most premium stat in Legends of Runeterra, right? And time again, we see that any effects that do +1 health, they typically need to get brought in line, and they typically lose this. They go down to 0, and then they just get completely removed from the game. So hopefully we don't see. Well, you know what? Never mind. You know what? Let's have Heimer Jace not even be in the game for a while. Let's see what happens. It's been in the game for a few years now. I think it's been kind of there lurking around. But let's see what the meta turns into if it's just completely gutted and removed from the game. Let's just remove that archetype. Let's just rotate it. You know what I'm saying? Come on. I think this card's a lot weaker now. I think that there will probably, I don't know. I really don't know where Heimer Jace will land, but I hope now, as like a crazy person, I guess, I hope that it sees 0 play. I hope that it sees 0 play. Beguiling Cobra goes from each round the first time you summon another follower to each time you play another follower, no longer having the ability to go infinite. The infamous Cobra combo is now dead. I mean they completely killed the archetype, right? I didn't play it too much, but I would love to hear any Cobra combo specialists in the comments. Let me know. Is this deck completely dead? Is it gonzo? Is it deleted? Because the way I understand it, it's gone. But I don't know how I feel about it, them removing that ability. I don't think that the deck was too overpowering. I think that it was good. I think that it, had its matchup tables, but I don't think that it was toxic. I don't know. I didn't play it enough. I never saw it, and I know it was like sort of like an anti-meta, very niche pick in tournaments. But obviously, Dresbo needs to tell me what's up. Okay, Swindle. Swindle is now, instead of manifesting a non-champion card from the enemy hand, it is pick one of 2 non-championing. So you just get to see one less card every time you swindle from your opponent. And yeah, okay. I mean, it narrows the choices and gives you less insight into your opponent's hand. I think that this card maybe has been on the downslide. This card wasn't even being played in much Samira Fizz. Even in the little Samira Fizz that was being played, I think that this nerf came a little bit. I don't know. See, it's hard, right? Because they nerf things that have been powerful in the past, in conjunction with nerfing things that are powerful now. And I guess that's a way to sort of make sure that what was previously powerful doesn't return to being powerful again. So I guess, you know what? It's fine. Making sure that Samira Fizz is not in the game through Swindle. Maybe we'll see some new archetypes pop up and be explored. They nerfed Heimer Jace. They nerfed Samira, I guess. And it looks like, talking about Fizz Samira. Oh, okay. So Samira gets hit and has been, I would say, gutted. I don't know. I think a lot of people. I don't know. I think she's Gonzo, but Flare goes to 2 costs, so you can no longer pass on 1 and Samira on 2 into Flare. So completely just removing her as an early game control and board control tool. I don't know. Like passing on 2 when you had the attack token when you're playing Samira, huge skill check, now gone. And like maybe that's a good thing, but I don't know. Samira wasn't like even that. Maybe with the rest of the nerfs in this patch, Samira would have remained very powerful. She's been very powerful since her inception to the game, and this is just one of many nerfs that she has gotten at this point. So here we are. So no longer will you be able to just completely demolish your opponent for playing into your Samira on 2. Flare will be 2 cost. And level 1 Samira, no longer cost reduction. New, if you have a Flare already, instead reduce its cost by 1 on summon and strike. Okay, so essentially just discounting the Flare. And the Samira level 2 will now. Okay, Samira level 2 also doesn't discount, so just gonna be discounting by 2. I don't know, Samira, this flare change, massive for her. I don't think that we'll be seeing this card at all. And you know what? I hope we do. I hope Fizz Samira is still good because I love that deck. We'll see. Pike is getting nerfed to 5 mana across the board for his champion and his Death from Below version. I mean, Lurk has just been there, right? Lurk has just been there. It kind of just goes around and does stuff. And maybe this will reduce that? I don't know. Lurk is a weird deck. I think we can all agree Lurk is a weird deck. But I don't know, man. This is a change. I think a lot of people are pretty unhappy about it, but I don't play Lurk. That's not true. I play a little. Nah, I don't play Lurk, but there's a lot of dedicated Lurk players out there. This is kind of sad for no reason. I don't see this deck being like, maybe I'll have to look into the data and like dig down and like really see, but I don't. From the data that I analyzed from the Legends of Runeterra community, which is like primarily competitive tournament stuff, I don't see Lurk that often. So, you know what I mean? It's fine. Exalted Cloudwinder loses 1 attack and goes to a 2/2. So now 5 HP units can block it without having to worry about Mystic Shot. Hey, I mean, it's a fine change. They should have just taken away Quick Attack. You know what I'm saying? Leave it as a 3/2. Take away Quick Attack. I don't know. Make it Brash. Come on. Anything but Quick Attack. Quick Attack's broken. I think this card's still fine. Totally fine. This card does not care about this. This card will still see 3 copies played in every single Janet deck. Alright? Every single Janet deck will play 3 without even thinking about it. Warden of the Tribes goes back to 9 mana. Sure, dude. I mean, that's fine. Warden has been kind of crazy. There's been a lot of like Warden lineups. So I've been playing a little bit of Legends of Runeterra, and I've been playing a little bit of this Warden's deck, and you kind of just play your cards out, and you kind of just, bank mana when you need to bank mana, and bait them when you need to bait them, and then just slam Warden down. I think that going to 9, I don't know if it matters too much. I don't know how much it matters. I think it matters a little bit. I still think that this deck and the Warden archetypes are still gonna be better. So it's an okay change. I think it makes it a little bit weaker. You know, it gives you one extra turn and to try to disrupt their board and try to make it so that they can't Warden. But I think it's still gonna be fine. I think it's still gonna be played. I think it's still gonna be out there. It's still gonna be at the World Qualifying Open. Still gonna be a deck that you're gonna think about. So maybe not a deck that you don't have to think about and you can just auto it. But maybe you'll think about it. Watchful Idol losing 1 point of HP. Finally, I guess a lot of people pretty upset. Not upset, but a lot of people don't really like this card. It enables Alawi to. I don't know. I don't think it fixes the issue of Alawi and Alawi decks really depending on Watchful Idol on one, right? I would rather have the deck's win rate not be dictated by having a single card in your starting hand. Like, that doesn't seem like intriguing gameplay to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, there has to be a way for you to make this card. Like, this card should spawn one and take 1 damage every time you spawn. You know what I'm saying? Like, just change it. Like, don't make it this card that's like. I mean, that's actually still that's. I don't know, but I don't think that any deck should be like, hey, I drew my card. But I also play Fiora, so what the hell am I talking about? You know what I'm saying? Sting Officer goes to a 2/1. Excuse me, goes to a 1/2. I mean, it was pretty elusives, right? Elusives, gotta nerf them, right? Now there's actually, I think, a lot more elusives in the last open than I expected. Do I think that this change really does that much? I think you'll still probably be playing this, right? Having it go to 2 HP means that it's no longer pingable, which is not terrible. And I do believe that you're already running other 1 or 2 mana 1/2 elusives, so maybe, you know, this heals 1 extra damage, right? Like, now it's one damage slower, right? Elusives is 1 to 3 damage slower, right? And I think that's fine. Yeah, okay. I think that this card is still good. I think it's fine. I think you'll probably still play it. Maybe they should make, you know, Eris a 1/2 as well. Valley of Imitation is going to 4 cost. And I think along with this and the Cobra change, yay! Maybe this will be continued to see some play with the traditional ambush decks and the big game hunters or whatever those are called. Yeah, big game tycoons. Excuse me, princess. It's been pretty good. I think I hate playing against Valley of Invitation. I'll be frank with everybody. Like I see that landmark come down and I just like I'm like, where's my explorer? Like I need to kill that thing right now. But I think that the game is gonna be. Yeah, I mean, I could see this deck becoming suppressive in time. I don't think it was just yet, but hopefully this is like a little bit of preemptive change. It's pretty good. I don't see this card being dominating or needing a nerf, like even though I don't personally like it. But I think with the Cobra change, like this card's less toxic. Innovative Blacksmith losing 1 point of attack. I mean, they do this to weapons masters, right? Like they're like, oh man, that the Noxus Ionia Hookmaster, make it a 0 attack unit. All right, make every weapons master 0 attack. I don't know. Jack's Orn has been pretty good, and kind of coming up on the rise again. So I think hitting this kind of hits Warden decks and Jack's decks and Timeline's decks. So I think it's fine. I don't think it's crazy. I think it's fine. Good change. Buffs. Omen Hawk can now block elusives. Blocking Hawk in the house. Blahawk? Blahawk? Is that anything? Anyways. Giving Freljord the ability to block elusives, which is really interesting to me because in my eyes, right, when I'm playing against Freljord as an elusive player, I'm worried about Avalanche, right? So I guess this makes it so that I have to go wider. I don't know. I feel like Avalanche is already really strong against elusives. I think that they have healing, and I think that they go big enough to force elusives to try to block or kind of race them down. But I think that this really puts it in the favor of Freljord now, and I think that Omen Hawk was already pretty. It was seeing a lot of play because the Warden was seeing a lot of play. But I think that this card now is going to enable even more strategies to just feel a little bit more valid and kind of respond to things. Like I look at this and I even think about like the Ash LeBlanc decks, because those decks don't really have a good way of dealing with elusive outside of like maybe Reckoning, right? Which is a pretty expensive spell. I think that having this is just gonna, I don't know. I think this is a massive nerf to elusives overall and a huge buff for Freljord as a region. So, and I think that that's kind of crazy. Like, I don't think anybody expected something like this to come out of a patch. I don't think that this was something that they've ever done before, right? And I think it kind of just shows, I don't know. This is just like a flex from the developers on like, hey, let's mix it up. So I think this is a great change. Really fun. I think everyone's hyped about it. Children of the Forest used to be an 8-cost slow spell that did something that no one knows about, and is now a 2-cost fast spell that can recall a mana, or excuse me, recall an ally, or you can spend 8 mana. I wonder if you can spend it at fast speed. Wait, what? I wonder if the 8 mana cost version is at fast. Because if it's a fast, spend 8 mana to summon ephemeral copies of the strongest followers you've recalled this game, then like on the stack you can spend 8 mana, right? And then get a board. I don't know. I don't think it's fast. I don't know. That'd be crazy if it was fast. But I think this card won't see any play. It's fine. Lord Eldred, Mage Secret Leader. Now when an ally survives damage, granted +1. So they kind of made this Demacian Scargrounds, right? With an 8/8 body Titanic unit, right? When an ally survives damage, granted +1/+1. That seems pretty good. But that's 8 mana though. Like, what are you doing? Playing with this with sigils, and then you're just in Demacia? I guess maybe Demacia Titanic is just gonna continue being a thing. I don't know. I think this card as like a randomly generated card is like crazy. Obviously, I hate seeing it because it gives your Nexus tough, but I don't think you'll ever play this deck or this card. I don't think that the Demacia decks ever care about getting to 8 mana. You know what I'm saying? So maybe some. I don't know. Maybe a Lysandra deck? No way, dude. No way. King's Court now draws Jack. The community want. So like the boats draw champions. Jack is now gonna be drawn. So I think that's really neat. I don't know. Maybe Jack is so weak, right? Jack is so weak. Who knows what this is gonna do? Like, who cares if you draw Jack? Do you care if you draw a second Jack? Maybe. I don't know, dude. Jack is so weak and so off my radar. You know what I'm saying? Like, just who cares? Knuckle. Nothing. Okay, so they swapped Overwhelm and Brash between Mako and Bull, and also gave Bull a point of attack for Overwhelm since he's going to be rallying. I don't think this is ever gonna see play, man. I don't know. Like, this is so expensive. 246. Come on. Make them not fleeting. Make a way to make your cards not fleeting. I don't know. These cards. Rather skip, like, I don't know, man. They're buffing these cards that don't matter. And like, okay, they're all purple cards. Oh, they're all purple cards. I forgot. They're all epics, bro. They're trying to make purple cards not garbage, right? Oh my god. Like, I'm so tired of these buffs that, like, don't do anything. Like, who cares that these cards are buffed, bro? Anyways, yeah, Knuckle, Mako, and Bull. I mean, maybe Mako is playable, but like, bro, when are you able to play like 12 mana of units, bro? Like, that's crazy. That's not happening. Wrath of the Freljord, on play, Frostbite an enemy. Ooh. So Frostbite's an enemy when it comes down now. I mean, Ash decks don't care about that, right? Because, like, I don't know, like, this, it's so difficult, man, with, like, Titanic units. Because, like, unless you're playing Titanic, like Volibear's not good, right? Sigils aren't good. Like, I don't want to spend 8 mana on a single unit. I don't care if it frostbites. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't care. Like, it's so expensive. Like, maybe, I don't know, man. Maybe I can't see the start seeing any play, even with this play effect. Shark Trainer no longer costs mana, spell mana to summon the Short Tooth. Vandal City Mariner buff. That's like the only time I've ever seen this card play. It's already 7 mana. Like, that's like the problem. You know what I'm saying? Like, the problem isn't the attune. Like, it attunes, right? So you can attune and then attack, but 7 mana. So I guess it's 6 mana with the Mayor, but it's just good off Mayor. It was fine off Mayor. Nah, eh. This is a Vandal buff. Alright, this is a Vandal City buff. This isn't a buff to this card. You know what I'm saying? Battle Babs. 2 cost. Now a 0/3 with a tune. So I guess it makes itself a 1/3 automatically and also gives you... Okay, so it gives you a tune. A tune is strong. Right? I don't know, man. Like, it should have given this card Overwhelm. Like, any card that grows should just have Overwhelm. Okay? Or something. Any evasion. Any evasion. Not a tune. Evasion. Needs evasion. Wings of the Cryo Phoenix. When you're enlightened now, it will heal your Nexus and only damage the enemy. So at turn 10, right, you spend 7 mana, right? So you have 3 to 6 mana left, right? 3 to 6 mana left. Yeah, dude, I don't know, maybe. I don't know. 3 damage. It's not a lot. Kind of need things to happen before being enlightened. I guess if you're ramping, but more heal is nice for Freljord. I don't know, man. This card seems, it's just Harrowing Return. Revive an ephemeral cup. Oh, so now it gives it fearsome. I think that's cool. I think that's dope. I don't know. I've always wanted this card to be kind of cool because I love playing fearsomes and I love playing like, you know, harrowing mono Shadow Isle stuff. And I think this is kind of cool. Now revive the strongest dead allied follower. I mean, if it revived champions, that'd be sick. That'd be crazy, bro. That'd be crazy. Yeah, I think that's cool. I think that it's good that it gives it fearsome. It makes sense. I don't know if it's gonna be like enough to pop it over the limit of making it more playable, because 4 mana is quite expensive. I think it went down to 3 mana. That'd be pretty sick. Yeah. Zonite Diva is now a Titanic, getting an extra point of attack. So, oh, this is for Janna Volibear decks, bro. Holy moly. Okay, is her skill elemental though? That's, see, is her skill elemental? That's what matters, guys. All right, deal 1 to all enemies. If you played 6 new spells, deal 3. This card's bad. Whoa. I haven't even read the text. That's, damn. Generous Gem Crafter is now a 3 mana 3/3, which I think is pretty solid, right? It can block Fearsome, it can block Brash. When you play a spell, you're going to be granting a random ally in hand +1/+1. Whoa, okay. I saw freaking Restless post that you want to put Glaive on this, and I thought that was really funny, but I don't know. This card's pretty good now, I think. I think this card was almost good, and I think now it's pretty nice. But I don't know. Who knows? I think it's funny. Ari gets a buff. You only have to recall 5 units instead of 6 now. Yeah, sure. I mean, Ionia is Og, so maybe this will make it a little bit playable. I don't know. I can't really see, like, you know what? Maybe that matters. Maybe that matters for sure. But elusives kind of just get blocked by Omen Hawk, so who knows? Yeah, I don't know. This will be. This is fine. It's a buff that's, I don't know. Oh, nearly all of these buffs, I'm sorry, feel nearly inconsequential, right? But I don't mind the meta right now, and so I don't think that I want. I want some. I can't. I don't know. I'll have to look through the meta and see. Like, Warden got hit. Janna did not get hit. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm just skipping through a bunch of stuff. Anyways. Teemo, yeah, Janna didn't get nerfed. Anyways, we'll talk about that later. Teemo now will plant at least 5 mushrooms if there are no mushrooms in the deck, which is a Path of Champions and Howling Abyss buff. Ogchamp, Otacon will now revive the strongest dead ally on play. And I think that's pretty cool. I've never seen this card being played from hand. Obviously, it's being summoned with the new elemental spell, Clash of Titans. Still, another card that's going to see 0. I don't know. It's fine. I don't know. It's fine. It's fine. I don't know how they could make this card playable without making it maybe too broken, but Consult the Heavens used to be focus, and it used to fully heal 1 ally. Now it is a slow spell, and it's going to fully heal all allies, and then grow their power equal to their health. So we got Demacia, in Targon, guys. This is the purple Demacia card. All right, this is, I don't know, like, is it good? Is it good? Who knows? I know that Trust will try it, but I don't. We want to make a finisher for Soraka. Like, Soraka doesn't care about, like, I guess, like, you fork people, right? Now you have to block my Soraka as she attacks. Oh, you're blocking? Well, now my Starspring gets to heal, and I've won the game. Maybe. I don't know. I can't. Maybe. I don't know. It's funny. It feels like a Demacia card, right? But I think that's chill. Alright. Savage Reckoner gets 1 point of attack and is now Titanic. Very cool. I don't know what is the angle for Freljord Noxus to get these Titanic cards. You have this one and then Otacon. I don't really... Like, you put this in the pool now for those Titanic spell to draw. That's kind of sick. Tusk Raider gets 1 point of HP. I wonder if that's really cool. Like, you could play like Sejuani with sigils to get Tusk Raider down earlier. Um, I don't think that we've ever really seen Tusk Raider be played in any serious capacity, so maybe this will make it cool. Who knows? Make Titanic count cost. That's all it is. Liminal Guardian gets 1 point of attack. You guys know what Liminal Guardian is? No? You don't? Wow. I can't believe you. It's summoned from 9 lives. Which, I mean, come on. This is a card that no one's ever played in their life. It's fine. I don't know if this matters, bro. Like, 9 lives? Like, come on. Like, there's gotta be a way for you to buff something else in Ionia. You know? Singular Will goes down to 9. Burden Ice is 9 mana. Recall all other units and landmarks. Maybe it's good. Maybe. I don't know. Haunted Tomb now costs 2. A lot of these cards I just don't even think about ever in my life. So Haunted Tomb costs 2. I guess it makes sense, right? Instead of 3, it's not Haunted Dream. Anyways, that was terrible. Countdown 2, revive the strongest dead ally. Countdown 2. Yeah, 2 mana revive, I think sounds pretty nice. I think it's okay. It's fine. I don't know. We'll see. I know some people will cook with it, and I hope that it's good. I hope Shadow Isles, like board-based Shadow Isles that does stuff on board, gets better. Rash Gambler. Rash. Shadow Dresbo. Did it. Check out the video that the devs did. A pretty funny bit. Pretty good. Exhaust is now burst speed, so now Shurima has access to another burst speed -2. I think that's pretty good. I think that's just a really good change for Shurima overall, and makes exhaust a little bit more. Actually, it makes exhaust very good for Shurima as a combat trick. -2 of burst speed. With the vulnerable. And you have to predict, right? You could use Shifting Sands. Is it better than the one that predicts though? That's the question. You have to decide which one. The vulnerable is nice, man. Vulnerable is nice, bro. Vulnerable doesn't matter at burst speed, obviously, but the -2 is huge at burst. So I think this is a lit change. I think this is great. This is super sick. Yeah, this is baller. Noble Rebel gets Challenger, according to gamers on Twitter, notably a card gamer and someone who owns a cup. But the cup is mine, and card gamer don't think that this card is good, even with Challenger saying that it's a nerf. I don't know, man. I like Challenger. Challenger's a lot better, even if it's a 3 mana 3/2 with Challenger, you know. And then it kind of becomes like a threat, like your opponent wants to threaten it. Maybe they point a Mystic Shot at it, and maybe you have Rummage in hand, and you outplay their Mystic Shot. You know what I'm saying? And they don't have 1 extra damage to ping it out. But I think that giving more challengers to Scion, as they mentioned, is really good. I want Scion to come back. Rage. Just give Twin Blade Revenant Challenger, bro. It's fine. Anyways, Flame Caller Caprine. It's actually pretty funny. I thought this card was going to be good. And it was so bad that it needed a buff. So, you're listening. Why? I'm going to just completely flip on how I previously felt about this and say that this card is still going to be dog water. Clockhand turns into an 8/8 and is now Titanic. I guess that's going to be really funky for Shurima Freljord, which makes me really afraid of Brawl. Yikes. We'll see. I don't know. This is a weird change. I don't really. I don't get it. Zerker Ursine now gets 1 point of attack and 1 point of HP up to a 6/4. Sadly, kind of in contention for a slot with Ron, the Serpent. So, Ron automatically makes 3 sigils on summon and kind of is as cheap as this typically, or cheaper. I think after we've seen a little bit more Volibear, ignoring the fact that this card was bugged, and we'll talk about that later, but I still think that this card is going to be really bad. So, again, another card that I thought was going to be good. So I'm going to go completely reversed on it and be like, this card, bad. It's going to stay bad. Megatusk gets an additional point of health. I think that's a little scary, right? Megatusk is always the one card in Deep that I really hate to see when I'm playing against that deck. And having it get another point of HP and have the ability to grow into something that's a little bit more survivable, I think that Deep does need help in that department. I think if they're going to buff anything, that this is one of the cards to buff. It's one of the more... you know what? Maybe this isn't one of the cards to buff. Maybe they should have just buffed something else in Deep, because this is already a pretty good card for them. It's like buffing Scarab, right? I'm glad that this card got buffed, right? Maybe it's good for Deep, but I don't know if other cards in the archetype should have been buffed instead. I don't know. It's hard to say because this card was already powerful, right? For the archetype. And now it's going to be even more strong. So now the archetype's success is going to hinge more on the singular card. And as I mentioned previously, I don't find that to be intriguing. Anyways, Kayn Shadow Step is going to 3 cost, and I am terrified. I'm really afraid of this change. I don't know. I'm really afraid of this change. I think this is like a massive buff for Kayn. I don't think that he needed it, man. Like, I know he wasn't getting play, but I think this card is like a menace. I don't know. Kayn is a card that I view as like, if Kayn is good, that's not a good sign for the game in my head. I don't know why. I don't know what it is about him. I'm going to be playing a lot of this, I think this trade, this change is kind of big. I don't know. I'm scared of it. Yordle Explorer gets a point of HP, and it's going to be at 3 HP, which means that it can block Brash. 2 mana 2/3. Actually, a huge stat line for Vandal City. Kind of like a better Grumble Slug, and giving other... I don't know. Maybe this brings Yordles back, right? Like, Yordles is always lurking, almost... Vandal City is always on the cusp of being too good, okay? And this card having more survivability might give Yordles a little bit of some space to get better. So 2 mana 2/3, pretty powerful, pretty good. Eclectic Collection is going to go down to 6 cost. Sure. I mean, I don't like portals, man. I have played against portals. I don't think this card needed a buff, and I think that this was a buff that, 1, wasn't needed. 2, I don't know how much it's worth. You know what I'm saying? It seems like a little out of left field. I'm not sure. Portal Pioneer is getting the Yordle Tribal. So, it's the Yordle. So. That's how it is. Apparently they didn't design this Vandal City Ionia card with a tune that was a 1/1 and had the Explorer text. They didn't expect it to be a Yordle, but art came back and it was a Yordle. Glance into the pipeline. For more insight on developers and process for the patches, check out the video in the description where the developers go over this patch as well, or the changes. All right, we have called shot moving up to focus speed. Kind of crazy, man. I'll be honest. I wish they flipped the tech so it was create a parallel convergence in your deck and then draw one. But I think going to focus speed is really sick. Having a slow speed draw, giving your opponent an entire action after doing this was pretty expensive. But I will say that this card, and I was messing around with this card in Jananila, and I think that it will start being played a little bit more, and I'm excited for it. I think Jananila is one of the most powerful decks in the game right now. Obviously, it received barely any nerfs this patch, and low-key a buff in this card, in my opinion, and a couple other ABG decks that I've seen. I think this is a big buff. I don't think Piltover and Zon needed buffs. I don't think that we needed more buffs for Piltover and Zon. We could have gone and buffed any other region, man. Any other region. So, it's fine. It's fine. All right, personalization, new skins. Twisted Fate is getting a skin for Halloween. It looks like, which is pretty baller. Very cool. I mean, finally, right? I'm so glad that he's gotten a skin. Twisted Fate's one of the best cards in the game. Sadly, he is eternal. But I mean, it's cool, right? Like, they're adding skins for eternal champions. And I think that just further cements the fact that they're pretty committed to that format. And then next we have Gangplank is also getting a new skin. Got an Alawi Gangplank. That's pretty neat. Spooky Gangplank and Underworld Twisted Fate are getting art for Legends of Runeterra. It looks like we also have a bundle coming up with Aurelian Soul, which when you grab this, you'll get the skin. You'll get champion fragments for the new Path of Champions, Champion Aurelian Soul. You'll get a bunch of other things for the Path of Champions game mode. And that will be available November 1st. Competitive, not really much to speak on. They have the World Qualifier open coming up at the end of October. Path of Champions is getting an update to their monthly challenges. They're getting a new champion, a bunch of new relics. If you want to watch and hear more about this and Aurelian Soul and everything going on in Path of Champions, check out the interview that Rio Prism Sword had with Dan Felder. I will drop a link to Rio Prism's video in the description. Shout out Prism Sword, homie. Very cool things happening for Path of Champions. And it looks like we also have a new feature that's going to be a post-match lobby, which happens immediately after you finish up your game. It will load into a screen where you can look at your opponent's deck and add them and craft everything. So there's a video available in the patch notes on the Play Runeterra website. Of course, you can always check out the patch notes in the link in the description. I'll drop that all down for everybody. So check that out. It's pretty cool. I think that this screen, things like this, right, where it improves the flow and the usability of the platform, I obviously really love as a designer. So love to see it. And shout out on Twitter, one of the UI UX developers. And we also have a deck buy all button, so it will buy all the missing cards for you. It will use all of your wild shards. It will use all of your green shards and coins, which is pretty nice. You just click craft everything. Bug fixes. There are a couple bug fixes for Path of Champions, a couple bug fixes for the game and how things are running. I think the most notable ones that are listed here are Berserker Ursine. No longer will the sigils create new sigils every time a spell is played. They'll stack. Portal Pioneers, Yordle. Sea Scarab gets debuffs during combat, and that's fixed. The momentous choice change here, guys. Momentous choice was not applying the discount. It would spend 2 mana, even though you prop the discount, and will now correctly discount itself by 1. I think that Kane is going to be crazy. All right, so play Aatrox Kane. Valley of Imitation now will copy an exact copy of a unit instead of copying the base, which I think is pretty big. And it also now will include a hover text fly out indicating that it is a Valley of Imitation. So no more sneaky Valley of Imitations. I saw that, and I was surprised. I thought that you should be able to identify it, but maybe it was a part of the sneakiness. Noxus Fervor gets nerfed when your opponent removes their card or their unit that you want to Noxus Fervor. It will still damage your unit. Condense will pop Spell Shield as it should, or as it's been established to have worked. And also, wild cards are now going to be properly rewarded in the weekly vault and the reward road chest. So we should be seeing a lot more wild cards. I'm even out of rare wild cards. Prime. So look forward to your weekly chest being a lot more bountiful. Really excited that the devs were able to hop on that, and I'm really glad that the community was able to catch that issue and get that fixed. And yeah, so there's a couple other bug fixes, but as always, feel free to check out the patch yourself in the link below. But that's going to be it for me today. Thank you as always for checking out the channel. Please feel free to leave me a comment below. Let me know how you felt about this video, and let me know your thoughts on the patch. I would love to hear if you think that this is going to be impactful enough, or if there is more that you would want to see. I know that I would have liked to see Janna get a little bit nerfed. Maybe hit that burn spell. I know I love burn, but that card is kind of too crazy. As always, shout out to Always Be Gaming. We are hosting 3 tournaments this month, and those are going to be in Europe, or EMEA, APAC, and in Americas. I'm going to go ahead and drop information about those below in the description, but you can always check out more about that on the Always Be Gaming Twitter, or you can join our Discord. Links will be in the description for you guys to check out. As always, I'm Wickhelm, or Wick, whatever. Just follow me wherever you want. Don't follow me. Just enjoy Legends of Runeterra. Enjoy this content. Let me know what you think, and I'll catch you next time. All right, thank you so much. Peace.